Hello, my name is Scott Delman, and I'm the Director of Group Publishing for the Association for Computing Machinery. Today I'm going to give a brief introduction to a new feature in the ACM Digital Library called the Author Profile Pages. Before I do that, I just want to take you through a few slides to give you a little bit of information about why ACM developed the Author Profile Pages and some of the key highlights to look out for while you're going through those pages. So ACM introduced these new pages and this new tool and feature in the fall of 2010. The feature was available as a beta through most of 2010, and then it was finally launched towards the end of the year after quite a lot of development work and feedback from the scientific community as well as the library community using the digital library. The goal, of course, was to provide a standard set of publication metrics for the scholarly community to provide authors in the computing field with usage and citation data as well as other comparative data regarding their publication activities. This feature provides the most comprehensive view of scholarly analytics in the computing field in existence today, since it covers over 1 million authors, in fact I think about 1.25 million authors at present, in the computing field specifically, across over 6,000 publications from over 3,000 publishers around the world, including all of the large and mid-sized publishers active in the computing field today. It is the most comprehensive coverage of the conference literature as well, which is lacking from many of the other databases that are out there that provide citation information statistics, the prime example being Thomson Reuters, ISI, Web of Knowledge, and the Journal Citation Reports. Just a couple of the highlights, things that you should be looking out for when using the author profile pages. The first and most important, I think, is that it is fully integrated into the DL platform itself. So you don't need to go to a separate page to look for author profile pages. Whenever you're searching within the DL and you come across an author's name, you'll see that there will be a link from that author's name into an author profile page for that individual. Second thing is that it's possible to reach the author pages from anywhere in the DL. So from a citation page, from the main landing page, which I'll show you in a moment, and really anywhere that you're working in the digital library. So you don't need to back out and start through a separate gateway. Another important element is that there are author pages now for anyone who has ever published in the more than 6,000 publications covered by the ACM's Guide to Computing Literature Index. Now, this is a guide and index that ACM has been publishing for well over 20 years and in a digital format for over a decade, and it really serves as the most comprehensive bibliographic database that is solely focused on the computer science field and the computing field. Much of what you will see in the author profile pages, the functionality, as well as other systems that are being developed by the ACM are driven by the data gathered in the guide. Next thing to keep in mind is that the author has the ability to edit some of the information on his or her own author profile page, but not the statistics, the publication metrics, usage data, citation information that are generated automatically by the system. So that is done in a standardized way. Information about contacts, email addresses, uploading photos, and changing some affiliation information is possible, but the core data set remains unaltered by the author. And only ACM has the ability to make those changes after a verification process has taken place. Detailed bibliometric data covers ACM and non-ACM publications, so I'll show you a little bit more of what I mean there when we get into the system. And it is also providing a list of all collaborators that any author in the system has ever published a paper with. So you can really start to see the relationships forming between people working in the field. Okay, why don't I jump right into a demo of the system. I'm going to do that very briefly in a minute or two. What you see here on the screen is the main landing page for the digital library. We can enter through any kind of system, but let's just assume for today's purposes that I do a search of a computer scientist working in the field. And in this case, I'm going to choose Professor Moshe Vardi, who is the editor-in-chief of ACM's flagship magazine, The Communications of the ACM. So I type Professor Vardi's name in, and you see, of course, a search results page. And once you are at that page, you see lots of articles that Professor Vardi is affiliated with. And of course, I see his name, and I see various links. So why don't I click on one of those links, and that's going to take me directly to an author profile page for Professor Vardi. You can see in the upper left-hand corner that there's a photo and some contact information, a link to the author's homepage, the ability to log into the system and edit some personal information. You'll, of course, see an active affiliation history, so you can see which institutions Professor Vardi has been affiliated with over the years. And then, of course, one of the most interesting features here are the full set of bibliometrics that ACM provides. If you're interested in getting a little bit more information about what those bibliometrics are, you just click on bibliometrics, and you'll see a very detailed description of exactly what kind of information we're gathering. But if I hit the back button, we can look at the various types of information that we're collecting. In this case, publication years, which shows the total number of years that this author has been publishing in the field, the total number of publications that this author has published, and across those 295 publications, you can see 4,872 citations. Of course, out of the 295 articles published, we have the ability to expose the full text for 88 of those publications, because those 88 are published by the ACM and are available in full text in the ACM Digital Library. So for those publications alone, we're actually able to gather download information, so the author can actually see how many times his or her articles are being downloaded over different periods of time. And in this case, you can see that Professor Vardi's articles have been downloaded about 43,000 times over the last year. Then, of course, when you look back at the number, you see 295 articles, and there's a great deal of information about those 295 articles. You can show all of those articles on one long page, and of course, all of the citation information related for those articles is available here on the page. Clicking on full text where it is an ACM article indicated by the ACM diamond logo. Another interesting feature about the author pages is the ability to look at the author's colleagues. And colleagues are essentially defined as those individuals this author has published works with that are covered by the Guide to Computing Literature. So in this case, you can see there's a rather long list of collaborators for this author. And that's essentially it. There's other information, links to social media. You can share some of this information through the popular social media sites. You can export this data through some of the most popular software packages like BibTeX or EndNote or ACM's own ref product, and it really gives you a very nice overview of exactly what the authoring community is doing out there. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to providing more useful videos in the future.